Okay, so you happen to be changing your tire and you snap one of your wheel studs off. Not a big deal. It's a $2 part at Advanced. I've been doing it for quite some time. What you got to do is you got to take off your brakes, which is 2 easy bolts right here, and then the 2 easy bolts right here. They're both 15 millimeter. But what happens is, grab this. Here's my new one. You can't fit it in between everything else. Most people have to take off the actual wheel bearing, your hub assembly. But what I did is I just took a metal grinding bit from my Dremel, and I just ground a nice notch right there. Now basically I can just pound this out. I use my fancy mallet, specialty bit, and just okay. So I got the new one, the old one out, snapped. Throw that away. Now, if you try to put it in anywhere else, you can see it's ridiculously long. But what you do is you spin your hub around to where it almost fits, and mine's at about 10 o'clock. So what I did is I ground that little bit out. It's hard to do this when I hold the camera. Rotate it a little bit down, find my groove, pops right in. Now you can see it needs to be pulled in farther. The best way to do that, grab a washer, and one of your nuts. The best is to use an open-ended one. That way you can get it all the way on there, down to the bottom. You can see your stud. What happened is if you use a big long nut, or you put too many washers, you're putting all your torque on the end of your stud here. What happens is when you're jerking on it and ratcheting on it and cranking it harder, it weakens this. I broke 2 of them doing that. Snapped right off. So you want to get it close to this as possible. One simple washer, one nut. And then just keep tightening it. Got my nice long socket. And then we'll just tighten it and suck that in. What also happens is when you're tightening it, this will spin. So what we want to do is take an old shitty wheel. These aren't any good to me. Drop it in there between your other studs and your wheel, and then you can crank on it and this won't spin. If you're by yourself, I put a little block of wood underneath my tire, or underneath my car, in between the tire, because when you start cranking on this, what's going to happen is you're gonna lift your bar down here, and it's going to bring this tire up. I mean, if you have somebody standing around just bullshitting with you, have them just stand on the tire. But in most cases, I just throw a block of wood or whatever I have laying around in there, and then you can just tighten. concept. But that's all you gotta do. You just gotta get it tightened into all the way just like that one. And just keep drawing it on. Also what I did is, they're super, super tough to get sucked in there. Let me get this one off. I will take the new one and I'll just grind this off a little bit. Boom, boom, boom. You don't need to go crazy with it, just a little bit. And then it's easier to suck in.